I think that sometimes people go into international adoption not understanding that there is a lot of work, that it takes a lot of work. And I think having that kind of expectation, or even asking around and realizing that, is really important. And, knowing that there's a lot of steps involved in doing that. And, when you start into it, knowing that you're going to have to do that. I mean, there's, home study, there's, that's your first step. There's home study, there's dossier, there's, all of that has to go into that. There's USCIS approval, there's, all of that, picking your agency, and then, walking through those steps. And there's a lot of that process, and it takes a lot of time, and a lot of frustration along with that, with each of those steps. So.
In the home study, there's a lot of work. In the dossier, there's a lot of work. And there's a lot of things that agencies can't do for families. Families have to do for themselves. And I think that's a real frustration, both for couples and for the agencies, that sometimes agencies want to be able to do things for couples that we're not allowed to, or that we just simply can't do for them. And so what was, just in general, what was all of the paperwork and processing like for you guys?
Well, when we started in Russia, it's an insane amount of work. It was...
Well, especially for you, because you were doing an independent adoption in Russia, correct?
No, we had an agency, but...
Oh, that's right.
We were... I mean, you have to do 2 dossiers. You have to do a registration dossier, go on your first trip, and then a court dossier. And we finished all of that, and it was a near full-time job for me to keep it all.
And your home study is part of that, which is like a dossier.
Home study to begin with, then the dossier, plus USCIS in there as well, and visas and all kinds of things. And it was very time-consuming, and it's also region-specific there. So I think every country is different. China was a cakewalk compared to that. It was very straightforward, 1-page list, here's your dossier, and we just collected it as we went. But maybe that was just because I had experience. This was my 3rd dossier by that point. So, but it's a lot it's just a lot of paperwork to collect, and a lot of, medical appointments, and
some of it's even redundant.
Oh, completely.
One person makes you do it, then another person makes you do it.
A lot you've done for your home study. You've just
they're
done
the same.
it.
Yeah. What you're collecting for the home study is similar to the dossier. Those are, you have to get some of the same things.
One thing I experienced, or my family experienced, we started out in a traditional program through China, and after 3 years, it was taking a long time, and they changed the legalities of things, and we were able to switch over to special needs, which was wonderful, and we were all on board to do that. But then again, we had all that paperwork had been done, and for 3 years, new fingerprints every year, everything has to be updated yearly. And then we switched to special needs, so we had to complete, a new packet of paperwork for special needs. But of course, it was all worth it. But that's something to keep in mind too. If you start in one program and switch, there's going to be a little bit more paperwork involved.
Yeah, it's not going to be just an easy. Right. And it feels like, it all feels like we should be able to just like streamline this process, and it could be easy, and we could figure out a way to do it. But the problem is, you're working with an agency that has its own policies. You're working with the federal or the state government that has its own rules.
Right.
You're working with the federal government that has its own rules. And then you're working with another country, which may have its own rules based on region or whatever. And so there's just so many different hands involved that's where a lot of the redundancy comes. That's where a lot of the paperwork comes. And some of it may not make sense, but you just have to do it.
And you have to hurry up to wait. Like that's what I tell my clients all the time. Hurry up so you can wait. Because you have to hurry and get the work done, and then you have to hurry to update things so you can wait. So, I'm always telling people, hurry up so you can wait.
Yeah.
And you have to wait for one government to finish so that you can pass it on to the next, so you can wait again.
Right, yeah. So hurry up and wait. That's what I'm telling people.